In my own life, I think my worst time of grief was when my mum died, when I was in my final year of medical school. She had been diagnosed with a metastatic breast cancer. So the cancer had returned and it was in her spine and in her pelvis. And we knew that she was going to die from that. And so I was lucky in that I got time with her. And I feel blessed that I had that quality time. But when she did pass, I was really distraught. I felt like life didn't seem real, because how could everything continue as normal when something so important to me had gone? And it didn't seem fair. It happened just before my final exams in medical school. And I remember going into them thinking, how can you have done this to me just before this, like a couple of days before? But I sat in an exam hall and I realised that even though there still was grief there, even though I was desperately hurting, I sat there, I took a breath and I just said, God help me, because I can't do this. And I felt so overwhelmed with just comfort and peace. I could really feel his presence there with me in this busy exam hall of people stressing out. I was just sat there and I knew that God was with me. And I am so grateful for the comfort that he brought me in my real time of need and the hope that that gave me then. I'm working as a doctor in oncology at the moment, and he gives me hope because I know that the suffering and the pain that I see isn't how the world was meant to be, and one day that won't be what life is like anymore. One day I won't have to see people in pain, I won't have to see people who are grieving, because that will be gone. And that hope helps me to have strength to face the things that I see. I know that I have been comforted so much in my grief, and I know that God gives me strength, and he's given me an understanding of what it feels like. Grief is different for everyone, but it hurts for everyone that goes through it. And God gives me the strength, and he gives me the courage to be there with people in those times of grief. And I think being present, to be a comforter in that time is such a privilege, but I couldn't do it without the strength that I'm given. That I couldn't do it if I couldn't pray afterwards to process what I'd seen. I couldn't do it if I didn't know that God was with me and directing me where I needed to go. That verse about there being no crying and no pain, I know that talks about what life will be like in heaven when people pass away. I know that's where my mum is. She was a very passionate follower of Jesus, and I know that now she is in a better place. She is comforted, she is joyous, and that gives me the comfort that I need after she is gone from me.